From a meteor exploding in the sky to a laptop setting fire to an office, here are some unexpected situations that have gone viral on the internet. Look at these pedestrians and drivers walking down this avenue in New York City. They walk or drive without being distracted by what's going on there, eager to get to work on time and start their day. But all of a sudden, they have the unpleasant surprise of seeing blocks of ice falling from the top of this skyscraper. It's terrible. Some of these pedestrians and drivers had the reflex to change their route when they saw these huge blocks of ice smashing on the ground. In this way, they managed to avoid a piece of ice falling on them. But to avoid the worst, they probably had to take a long detour and may have arrived late for work, but safety comes first, and these folks were pretty relieved to have avoided the worst. Well, it's not every day that you experience a situation like this, and these people will certainly remember it for the rest of their lives. This young tourist was on vacation somewhere with some friends and family. With her smartphone in hand, she wanted to take some souvenir pictures of the place where she was when she had the pleasant surprise to see that a monkey was there too. Without hesitation, the girl turned her smartphone towards the animal and tried to attract it to her, in vain. But if she failed to attract the latter, she at least managed to capture the attention of another monkey that even came to eat in her hand to her great joy. On the other hand, this young tourist quickly regretted her gesture because it cost her her smartphone. Look at how this clever monkey stole her phone to run away with it afterwards. That's all she needed. This young girl could say goodbye to her souvenir photos and videos. However, she could consider herself lucky to not have been attacked by the primate. Indeed, in some cases, these animals turn out to be much more aggressive than we think, and they can attack directly or seriously injure a person. This tourist was lucky. Nevertheless, this incident will teach her not to trust a monkey in the future. Look at this man in this elevator with this young girl. Because of his gesture, this aggressor was beaten by the girl, who seems to be a pro in martial arts. He had it coming. But after having taken a good beating, this man ended up freeing himself from the fists of the young girl, and he managed to run out of this elevator. You could say he learned a lesson. Not only that, but because of this video as well, this thug has become a laughingstock on the web. We'll see who has the last laugh. This driver was in his car and driving quietly towards his destination on this beautiful sunny day. That's right, it was a beautiful day. This man probably wanted to enjoy the weather while he was driving. But as he was gazing up at the beautiful azure sky, his attention was suddenly drawn to a comet of some sort passing over the road. Curious, this driver followed the comet with his eyes until he could see its final destination. But this moment made him jump with fear because the celestial body ended up exploding in the sky. One can well imagine the concern, but especially the perplexity of this man. However, his curiosity was satisfied when he learned later through the media that it was actually a meteorite that had just exploded in the atmosphere over Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. This happened on February the 28th, 2020. The explosion of the meteorite was so powerful that it produced an energy equivalent to 3,040 tons of TNT and caused a shockwave that shook the ground and houses. Can you imagine that? This man was relieved to learn that the meteorite did not explode on the ground, thus avoiding major damage. On the other hand, he was very lucky to witness the spectacular phenomenon that he will never forget for the rest of his life. This young man was in this store in Istanbul, Turkey. As you can see in this video, he was writing something on his phone, probably a message he wanted to send to one of his friends or a family member. But all of a sudden, this young man found himself in a very bad situation in a split second. Look what happened. Because he was concentrating, he didn't see the opening in the floor through which the store's employees were moving merchandise, and he fell through the hole. Unpleasantly surprised by what had just happened to him, this poor young man waited for someone to come and pull him out. This did not take long to happen. Yes, but imagine the embarrassment he must have felt at that moment in front of the employees of that store. We can say that some employees laughed at this situation, while others did not hesitate to lecture the young man for his lack of attention. Well, at least the latter escaped unscathed and did not suffer too much from his fall, because he simply found himself sitting on the pile of boxes. Fortunately, but this fall was a lesson to him. And since that day, this young man certainly does not dare to keep his eyes on his phone while walking. A few years ago in California, a man was at home on a hot summer day. While he was walking to his deck, probably to get something, he got the surprise of his life when he came face to face with a brown bear. The animal, which was hot and probably come to look for a little coolness under the terrace of this man. But this last one, who could not offer hospitality to the intruder, decided to use all the good means to chase it away from his house. Finally, he managed to get the bear out of his house, but after many kicks on the terrace, and at the cost of great patience that almost made him lose his nerves, at least our friend was relieved to see that the bear was gone for good and that he was not likely to come back home. This was an encounter he will never forget in his life. A priori, the owner of this laptop was at home and perhaps sleeping soundly when a serious incident happened in his office. Watch, this person had left her laptop in the office and was probably hoping to return early the next morning so she could finish some work she had already started. But you can imagine the look on her face when she arrived at the office. Seeing that everything was destroyed by fire, this person must have asked herself a lot of questions while looking for the possible causes of this fire. But when she reviewed the surveillance camera footage, she finally discovered what really happened. The fire was caused by her laptop that exploded in the middle of the night before bursting into flames and setting the entire office on fire. What a shock she must have felt then. Not only was her computer the cause of the fire, but she had lost all her work. However, she could be relieved that she wasn't there when it happened, because in that case, the consequences might have been more serious for her. But she will never forget those terrible images. Look at this dog happily circling its owner. Obviously excited, this nice doggy wants to go for a big ride with him, it seems. He can see, however, that his master is very busy and that he is not ready to go for a walk with him. Too bad. He will go to make it alone. So there he is, leaving his house and running across the road, happy to make his turn. But this dog will soon regret it. Why should he do that? Well, look. While crossing the road, this poor dog got hit by a truck. Oh dear. But don't worry, he got off miraculously. That's right, this dog was really lucky to escape an accident that could have been serious. Here he is, back in his cage and settling in wisely, under the astonished eyes of his master, who can hardly believe what has just happened. This poor dog must have been in shock, but at least nothing was broken. After what happened to him, he might not dare to go for a walk by himself again. This Chinese delivery man was loading his scooter with goods he wanted to deliver to a customer. This man had almost finished when suddenly he realized that his vehicle had just started and that it was moving away from him at a high speed. Indeed, a box which had just fallen in front had activated the gas pedal, making the scooter roll. Faced with this unexpected situation, the poor delivery man rushed behind his scooter to make it stop and try to save his merchandise. Fortunately for him, the goods were not damaged in any way, and the delivery truck was only partially damaged after it crashed into a wall. However, because of this incident, the man could not deliver his goods on time. Well, he certainly found a way to get the goods to his customer. However, this man made the buzz because of this video, which became viral on the internet. Look at this young girl who has her feet and legs immersed in the mud. As you can see, this girl is looking for something under the mud that she is struggling to find. Do you think she's looking for gold? Maybe she is, but look at her. As she moves through the water and turns over lots and lots of mud, she finally manages to pull out a snake. This girl was looking for a snake that she managed to pull out. Amazing! Of course, it took a lot of effort and patience, not to mention her legs and arms being stuck in the mud for a long time. However, we can say that this girl is used to doing this kind of thing, and that she didn't mind standing there with her limbs in the mud. And then she ended up forgetting all her efforts as soon as she felt a snake moving between her hands. You only have to see her reaction in front of the camera when she finally shows the reptile to guess that she was very proud of her catch. This young girl looks very happy in this video, doesn't she? It looks like she wants to share her joy with everyone who watches her video, even though she is in this deserted and desolate place. Nevertheless, she starts to dance, and she manages to live a pure moment of joy that she shares with her followers. But to do it, she had to run a real risk by being in this dangerous place. Well, she certainly had to leave this place as soon as possible after her dance, but not without making the buzz on the internet thanks to this video. You have just seen some situations that happened unexpectedly and that made the buzz on the internet. Among these situations, which one surprised, amused, or on the contrary, shocked you the most? Leave us your answers and impressions in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.